Moving on the 21st of January, a 53-year-old man, Mohammad Afroz Ahmed, died on board a Jet Airways flight traveling from Delhi to Mumbai. The co-passengers claim that Mohammad Afroz was experiencing breathlessness, but despite repeated requests for help from the crew, he was denied an oxygen mask by the crew. Instead of offering him support, the jet staff allegedly shouted at the victim and his family. Co-passengers also alleged that the staff was untrained and unable to provide basic emergency services to the patient and even refused an emergency landing. So Richa joining me on the phone line. Richa, so that's one side of the story, but I believe the jet airline has now come out with a statement saying emergency services were provided to this person, that there was an emergency landing also that was done. So who do we believe? Do we have any reason to believe that it is because of negligence on the part of the crew in this flight that Mohammad Afroz passed away on board a Jet Airways flight?
That's right. When we spoke to the family exclusively as well as the co-passenger who was present there, Sakshi was the first one to talk to Mirror Now, and she went on record to state that she was the one who was present throughout, and she saw how the crew was behaving rudely and not in a proper manner with the family who was in need of help at that time, who was in need of the medical emergency services. And the response that the Jet Airways has given us is that they are dismissing all the allegations made against them. And one of the very vital questions that we had asked them about, why didn't they do an emergency landing, to which they haven't replied on their statement, which clearly shows that there was a problem that happened, and they could have done an emergency landing in case of an emergency where a patient was suffering. So clearly, at this point, the family as well as the co-passengers are raising some serious questions against the misconduct as well as the problems that they had to go through, where one life was lost and it could have been saved, because during that 1 hour of golden period, as it is called, if he would have been given the emergency medical services, he could have been saved at that moment.
Right. So the question here is, what you raised is, was the protocol followed? Was there misconduct? That is something we question. Let's listen in to the passenger's version first.
I was flying in 9W376 from Delhi to Mumbai in Jet Airways. I was sitting on seat number, just right before the victim. The victim was actually Mohammad Afroz, was flying with his family members, wherein his sister and daughter and son of the sister was, kind of with him on the flight. The minute we took off from Delhi, I could see after a couple of minutes he was feeling uneasiness, and he was reporting the same to his cousin and to his sister. So his cousin, basically his nephew, reported the same to the crew member who were serving meals to the passengers. The crew member literally asked him what exactly he's been feeling. He reported that he was feeling uneasy and breathless. Later on, I realized that crew member was not so helpful. They were kind of neglecting him. So it kept happening for a couple of minutes. Later I realized, and I asked my co-passenger, his relative, to give him a way to breathe and clear his way. If he can kind of rub his back or do some basic. Somehow the crew members, since they were not supporting, he was also not able to do, because he was not allowed to move out of his seat. Since after that I turned my face towards the victim, I saw that he was getting unconscious. The minute I realized that he was getting unconscious, I just stood up on my seat and literally lifted back on him to his seat on the back side. The main crew member, Balpreet, she was talking to the victim and his family. She scolded them and kind of shouted on them that the passenger should be calm. He shouldn't be acting or showing uneasiness. It is his fault that he didn't take the medicine or on time, or he didn't eat anything. Rather assisting him or giving him the basic medical support, which was, I think, the oxygen, which he was really needing it. And meanwhile, when he was in my hands, he had that cardiac arrest. Even after having the cardiac arrest, the oxygen was not supplied to him. I shouted on the crew member to arrange the oxygen cylinder immediately.
Well, so the family and the co-passengers allege that this life could have been saved if the crew in this Jet Airways flight was alert. But in its response, Jet Airways says, and I quote, A guest on Jet Airways flight 9W376 from Delhi to Mumbai on the 21st of January 2018 developed a medical condition during the flight. The flight crew immediately attended to the guest, who was also examined by a doctor traveling on the flight. The airline and its crew followed the established protocols for on-board medical situations. In this case, the guest faced difficulty in breathing and was administered medication, CPR and oxygen till the flight landed in Mumbai on quote-unquote medical priority. Upon arrival, the guest was examined by the airport medical team, who pronounced the guest dead, unquote.